was made. According to the tech news site The Information, when that announcement was made, distressed employees were seen leaving the OpenAI headquarters.
So that's David Waddell with the details. Let's talk to Stephanie Hare, technology researcher. Stephanie, so much I want to talk to you about what has been a chaotic weekend. First of all, what happened? Are we any closer to knowing exactly why they ousted Sam Altman?
No, which is really frustrating in the sense that this is now day 3 of this saga. And what we don't know is the real reason that the board got rid of Sam Altman and ultimately drove away what was the president of the company who had been on the board, Greg Brockman. They're now at Microsoft. We know that they lost confidence in Mr. Altman, but we don't know the specific reason why.
And also, the move to Microsoft is interesting as well, because I'm right in saying Microsoft owns a significant chunk of OpenAI, and yet Microsoft boss wasn't on the board of AI, so knew about this at the same time the rest of us did. What's gone on?
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has played a real blinder in acquiring the talent that is Sam Altman and Greg Brockman. But I actually think that he's going to be facing a lot of scrutiny from Microsoft's board and investors saying, how could you put $13 billion into OpenAI and have no seat on the board, no idea what was going on in the board's discussions? They were told a minute before they fired Altman that this was happening. So they were learning about this in real time like the rest of us. That's extraordinary. That needs follow-up.
Yes, and I'm sure there will be a lot of discussion about that in the days to come. But let's talk about Microsoft. So it secured the talents of Sam Altman and, as you said, a couple of others. That's important because it means they're not going far. They're not leaving, I mean, they've left OpenAI, but they're not going to a rival per se. And that's interesting. They sort of keep them within the fold.
Yeah, and one wonders what's happened behind the scenes there, because neither of these people are this, Microsoft's a big corporation. The kind of people who launch startups tend to not do very well in big corporations because they're slow. Microsoft is very dynamic. It's got a lot of brilliant people, but culturally, that's going to be an odd fit. And one wonders if Microsoft simply said to these people, we've got $13 billion invested in you. Either you come join us or we're going to sue you out of existence. I think this probably worked the best way for everyone, but it remains to be seen if they can harness the startup mentality. And Sam Altman, who, according to the statements that we've heard from his own board, was not forthcoming with his own board, he won't be able to get away with that kind of behavior at a company like Microsoft. It's publicly traded. The board has a duty to maximize value to shareholders. So no secret backroom deals or him having secret private ambitions. All of that will have to be very transparent.
And so interesting to see that sort of narrative play out on social media over the weekend was the support from investors and from staff for Sam Altman. And therefore puts OpenAI and its new boss, Emmett Shear, in a sort of funny position because they've got all of that goodwill aimed at someone who's left the organisation. So Emmett Shear has a real job to bring the culture back around and say, look, we're okay, we can do this.
Yeah, I would say that OpenAI is a ship that's going to be taking in water right now. And he said that Emmett Shear, the new CEO, has said he's going to launch an investigation to find out what happened. He wants to try and turn this around in 30 days. 30 days is a long time in business. He could hemorrhage a huge amount of talent in that time, whether that's staff going to Microsoft to join Mr. Altman or going somewhere else on their own, perhaps to DeepMind, Google, or setting up their own venture situation. So he's got a really big problem because if he doesn't know why that board originally fired Mr. Altman, he's not going to be able to stop the speculation.
Yes, it's going to be fascinating. Stephanie, I'm sure we will talk again about this in the coming days. Something we'll keep a close eye on, as I'm sure you will too. Stephanie Hare, good to have you with us, as always. Thank you. It does raise big questions as well, doesn't it, about the power of AI in the hands of so few people right now. We'll